As the summer 2021 anime season ends, we now have to make room for what's to come next. Fall 2021 is upon us, everyone. I'll be making a video summarizing some thoughts on some other shows from summer 2021 that I didn't make full reviews of for the near future, but for now, we have a new slew of anime for our viewing pleasure, or disappointment. Since we've hit this point, I need to somehow build legitimacy, and what better way to do that than do a rundown of what I'll be watching for the upcoming season. I mean, I guess I could always do reaction videos. I'll save that for when I have no other options. Just to clarify, this video is not going to be a full run-through of everything that I plan to see, but rather what we'll be touching upon is some shows that have caught my attention for one reason or another. These shows are going to be in alphabetical order by their English name if applicable, but I'll try to mention their Japanese names as well if you prefer that. If you want to skip to a particular show discussion, I'll put timestamps in the video's description below. So without further ado, let's dive right on in, shall we? 86's second season. The first season of this franchise was actually the second review I ever made, and the show as a whole left a strong impression. Seeing the end of the first season left me with an eager anticipation as to what could come next. My main hope is that I will still be able to see plenty of Milize and Nozen, whose dynamic together made a lot of the show work for me in the first place. Even if they end up being separated for long stretches of time where they can't communicate, I think they've become established enough to hold their own. There are still many problems to solve, so let's step back onto the battlefield. Blue Period. The first episode actually aired already, and much like with Remake Our Life, I'm eager to see how it manages to handle artistic creation as a plot point. The main character, Yatora, seems like a decent jaded character without crossing into unlikability, and I hope to see his obsessive fascination with drawing and art take off from where it was left. If the series can harness that energy and funnel it into making its discussions about art creation work, such as color mixing or working with perspective, I think this could be a wonderful show. The Heike story, or Heike Monogatari. What attracts me to this is both the premise, which is based on a novelization of the old epic tale, but also because of the creators involved. Yamada Naoko, the director behind the work, is also responsible for directing some of my favorite Kyoto Animation properties, such as Sound Euphonium, as well as the film A Silent Voice. Yoshida Reiko and Ushio Kensuke are two others who have also been involved with her, so this collaboration has a lot of potential. I loved its first episode, and I cannot wait to see what develops further along. Komi Can't Communicate, or Komi-san wa Komyushō desu. This anime seems to be among the most highly anticipated of the coming season. Having not read the original source material at all, I could at least see why it attracted as much attention as it did given the premise involved. A character who suffers from social anxiety and communication issues seems like a relatable problem for many, and the manner by which she could be perceived of by others opens up a slew of possible glimpses into both hers and others' psychology. I'm hoping that it will be as good and rewarding as others have made it out to be, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. At least, I sincerely hope that I enjoyed it more than I did Watamote. Lupin III Part 6. The reason for this one is simple. I have never seen a single episode of Lupin III, and it's time to change that. I've been told that with few exceptions, basically every season of Lupin III can be seen in isolation since there isn't much continuity between seasons. So unless I get told otherwise, I'll have this be my introduction to the franchise. I've heard a lot of great things about the franchise, and frankly, it's long past time that I should have seen something of it by now. So, here's hoping that my introduction is a good one. Mieruko-chan. The first thing that came to mind with this show is if you took Manta from Shaman King, got rid of all the shamans, and made him the main character. I can see this series having some real comedic potential, especially considering that no one else can see the ghosts, and the ghosts themselves know that the main character can see them. This could develop into an interesting comedy-horror slice of life. Again, much like some of the others on this list, I haven't read the original material, so I'm going in blind. Here's hoping that this is a good one. Platinum End. This is another show like Heike Monogatari where my primary interest comes from the people involved. The original material, which I, again, have not read yet, was written by Oba Tsugumi and illustrated by Obata Takeshi, both of whom were behind Death Note, which is a fantastic property. While I do know that they also worked on Bakuman, I have yet to see that, so this will be my first foray into the partners' next collaboration. I do want to see how the god candidacy works, so I'm optimistic about this one. And I will get to Bakuman eventually. It's just a question of when. Puraore, Pride of Orange. The last time I sat down and watched a seasonal sports anime was when I saw Hanebado, the badminton playing of Hanasaki Ayo, and it was okay. I really have not seen too many sports anime in my life, and the last ones that I actually watched in full were Ping Pong the Animation and Tsurune. So needless to say, this particular part of my anime viewing catalog is a little too barren. I've also seen Keijo, if that counts for anything. Is it a good idea to go with a sports show that seems like it could be a Love Live aesthetic from the poster alone? I guess there's only one way to find out. And don't worry, I'll get to Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket, and Megalobox one day. Selection Project. My primary exposure to idol anime is only through the Love Live franchise, for which I did a review of Love Live School Idol Project, and while it hasn't quite finished yet, I've been thoroughly enjoying Love Live Superstar. I feel like this series is going to test whether or not it's the idol storytelling device that I enjoy, or if it's mainly restricted to just Love Live. I'm hoping that it isn't, because I'd like to see more music anime that I would actually like, especially given that it's what I do for a living, but we'll see. Takt Op.Destiny. What struck me about this one was not that it was a mobile phone game adaptation, but rather because it's apparently going to be a collaboration between studios MAPPA and Madhouse. I have no idea what to make of that, but the idea of music being banned and fighting back with it sounds intriguing. Another music anime where I'm hoping that I like it, I suppose. When I think of music used for a large-scale force, I think of Classicaloid, which is one of only 5 anime seasons I've ever dropped, so I'm at least hoping that it'll be better than that. World's End Harem, or Shuumatsu no Harem. Get the trash cans, everyone, we're going diving. The second that I read the premise, I knew that I had to give this one a watch. 99.9% of the male population wiped out? Whatever are we to do? Or perhaps whoever are we to do could be the better question. I fully expect this to be a dumpster fire, and I cannot wait. I need my trash, damn it! The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat, or Sekai Saikou no Ansatsusha Isekai Kizoku ni Tensei suru. What a mouthful. Yet another one where the creator is what drew my attention. I never would have given this series the time of day were it not for the fact that the story is by Tsuki, the same person responsible for Redo of Healer. Unlike with Redo of Healer, where I knew about its content going in, I know absolutely nothing about this one. So I'm bracing myself for the absolute worst and hoping that it doesn't come to that. Only time will tell if I'm crying in a corner. And that's what I mostly have my eye on. There are some others, of course, but here's hoping that the ones I mentioned end up being good. Well, okay, that last one actually makes me nervous, but what shows are you anticipating for the fall 2021 anime season? Is it something that I didn't mention here? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, this has been ZNoteTaku. Happy viewing, everyone!